So guys, this is an HP Pavilion 15 from 2017-2018. It costed around $700-800 bucks, and it has been slightly upgraded. Let's go ahead and see though if it can game in 2026 or if it can, just like do anything in 2026. So yeah, let's go and roll on with that intro first, shall we? So guys, this is a laptop from 2017, okay? Well, actually, I'm pretty sure it has an 8th gen Core i5, so it's from 2017-2018, okay? As you can see right here, it's seen better days, but it still fully functions and everything still works, okay? This was a premium laptop back then as well. It had a touchscreen and it also had a backlit keyboard, okay? Now, this laptop was configured originally with a 1TB hard drive, but obviously, you know me, I cannot live with a hard drive in 2026, so yeah, I upgraded this thing pretty quickly. And also, it originally had 12 gigs of RAM, so I upgraded it to 16 gigs of RAM, and also, made sure that, the RAM speed was still the same. But yeah, I actually originally did a video on this before, but I didn't really like it, okay, the original video, because, well, I chose a weird selection of games that, aren't really that current. Like, I chose a weird selection of indie games because, that's what I had back then. I just had, those games. So yeah, I will go ahead and I will re-benchmark this, and also I'll test to see if, how well it does in the general usage in 2026 as well. Last time we tested this in 2025, YouTube was less demanding, and yeah, just in general, the web was less demanding, okay, because websites weren't as, complicated. But yeah, let's go ahead and roll with the specs, shall we, as well. Yeah, let's go ahead and see if this thing actually is any decent still. So, what is this 2017 HP Pavilion 15 packet? Well, RAM-wise, it has 16 gigs of DDR4 2400 MHz dual channel RAM, which was previously upgraded from its original 12 gigs of RAM. So yeah, basically around the max that this laptop can take, although I think it might be able to take 32 gigs of RAM. CPU-wise, we have the Intel Core i5 8250U running at 1.6 GHz with a boost clock of 3.4 GHz. It's got 4 cores and 8 threads, so it should be able to handle general usage like a beast, but gaming-wise, it does have to split that power budget with the iGPU, so not too great. It's going to be running at around its base speed, but still not too bad. Storage-wise, we have a 240GB NVMe SSD running through PCIe Gen 3 speeds. So, yeah, basically this is the same SSD as I used, when we tested this laptop like about a year ago, I think. So, yeah, but I did upgrade that 1TB hard drive to 500GB SATA 3 SSD. So, yeah, we've got plenty of storage, which is plenty fast. GPU-wise, we have the said Intel UHD 620 graphics, okay? Now, yes, it's not impressive considering it's around GT 730 levels of performance, but hey, look here, it's an iGPU in a laptop that's pretty old, so you gotta give it that. And we'll have to also split that power budget with that CPU, so yeah, it's probably gonna be held back by power as well. But still though, for general usage, it's basically going to be a beast, okay? But for gaming, it may struggle with that. Let's go on with the rest of the video. In terms of general usage, this laptop for YouTube playback can play up to 4K at 60 FPS. 8K is just a little bit too much, as 8K you really need either a 6-core CPU or some kind of dedicated GPU. In terms of just general browsing, however, it's definitely very usable, as this can load up a ton of tabs at once, especially tabs, for example, like the Apple website. It can load those in really, really well at really quick speeds. So basically, this Core i5, like I said from the specs section, is a bit of a beast when it comes to general usage. It's also pretty power efficient, peaking at around 20 watts of power, and then it drops back down to 15 watts after a few seconds for those burst speeds. So, it feels smoother. But yeah, in terms of YouTube, it can play it at 4K 60, so that's enough for this laptop, considering that the HDMI port on it literally cannot display more than 4K 60, so yeah, it's good enough. But yeah, let's go ahead and get on with the gaming benchmark, shall we, as well. I know that's why you guys are here for. You guys aren't here to see if an 8-year-old laptop, or a 10-year-old one rather, can browse the web in 2026 as well. Come on, even a 20-year-old laptop can do that. You came here to see if this UHD 620 based laptop, an infamous GPU, can still play games in the big 26. Let's go rolling with the benchmarks, shall we? Starting off with a strong result, we have BeamNG. This is a game that likes more powerful CPUs, especially ones with more cores, so this quad Core i5 should be alright. This UHD 620 has a performance of around a GT 730, so we did have to run the game at the 768p, which is basically a laptop's native resolution with the low settings, but it wasn't the worst. Averages of 35 with 1% lows down to 22 aren't half bad, as these results are coming from integrated graphics from 2017 and a slim laptop. This is basically an ultrabook class laptop. Different maps may lead to lower frame rates, as the much more demanding West Coast map saw around 20 to 30 FPS instead of 30 to 40 in grid map. The 16 gigs of fastest GDR4 RAM was perfectly fine even for the more demanding maps. Overall, not the worst result considering the era this laptop is from, and considering its, performance tier when it was released. On to the next benchmark. Next up, with a very modern 2D game, we have Hollow Knight Silksong. Even though this game seems non-intensive, it will max out even a 5090 with the right CPU, and it will output like 8000 FPS. We ran the game at the laptop's native resolution with the max settings, and we're getting a great result. At 768p max, the UHD 620 with that little Core i5 achieved an average of 113 FPS with 1% lows down to 45. The 1% lows were caused by scene changes, so it wasn't the Core i5's fault. This iGPU would probably be able to run the game at 60 FPS at 1440p, which ain't half bad. At this resolution though, it saturates the laptop's refresh rate of 90Hz, which, yeah, pretty nice. Overall, a very good and smooth experience. On to the next benchmark. Next up, with the most popular esports game in the world, we have Counter-Strike 2. For a nice competitive experience, you want at least 120 FPS on average with 60 FPS 1% lows, and this laptop doesn't even come close to those figures. Run the game at 800 by 600 with the lowest settings in a practice deathmatch, the game didn't run great. Averages of 41 FPS with 1% lows down to 28 are not optimal, even for casual players. Maybe if you wanted some quick practice and had nothing else, it would do, but for online competitive play, it is not even close to acceptable. Stepping the resolution up to 720p would sometimes drop the FPS below 30, so not great. The CPU was close to being a bottleneck at this resolution, as the practice game mode stresses out the CPU more than the online game modes, as there are bots. Overall, even though it did get more than 30 FPS all the time, this is CS2 and you need a high frame rate. Maybe it might get higher FPS if someone else was hosting the server or in online matches, but still wouldn't even come close to the goal. On to the next benchmark. Next up, with a modern AAA title that is extremely demanding, we have Cyberpunk 2077. The fact that this game started on this laptop is crazy, as this is a AAA game from 2020 that has been updated in terms of its graphics back in 2024, so very recent, very modern game. We did have to run the game in administrative mode though, as this iGPU was never meant to run something as modern and demanding as Cyberpunk 2077. Dropping the settings and resolution down to their lowest and using the lowest preset for FSR yielded averages of 13 FPS with lows down to 9. More intensive areas could see us drop down to figures as low as 7 FPS. Even though we sometimes saw single-digit FPS, the frame times weren't too bad. There is a silver lining. I actually played through a lot of the game on this laptop, and it's not the worst, as I could still kind of aim. Maybe if this was the version of the laptop that came with a GTX 1050 or 1050 Ti, it would be playable, as the CPU has a lot more to give. Overall, I didn't expect the game to even start, so it technically surpasses my expectations. On to the next benchmark. Left 4 Dead 2 up next, which is the exact opposite of Cyberpunk 2077 in that it's extremely lightweight and just about anything can run on it. This iGPU based laptop handles it with no sweat, so yeah, that is a porn reference. This represents how more intensive source games are going to run, and this handles the crap out of them. We ran the game at this laptop's native resolution with the max settings and 2x MSAA to smooth out those jagged edges, and it returned us a solid frame rate. 62 FPS on average with 1% lows down to 46 isn't half bad, considering that a lot of games will perform like this, as there are a lot of famous and popular games that still use the source engine. For example, Half-Life 2, the original Counter-Strike. Well, by that I mean the original Counter-Strike Global Offense. So yeah, you know what I'm saying, the first CSGO. But yeah, it's kind of impressive that this old UHD 620 can handle the crap out of even games that still look pretty decent today. Overall, this is a very playable experience and shows that this UHD 620 will handle the crap out of source games. So yeah, basically just reiterating what I said there. On to the next benchmark. Next up, with another AAA game from 2020, well technically it came out in 2011 and then got remastered in 2020, we have Skyrim SC with the anniversary patches, and it's running alright. Keep in mind that this is an iGPU based laptop from 2017, so it's impressive to even see 30 FPS. We ran the game at 768p, which is basically a laptop's native resolution, like I said earlier, with the lowest settings possible, as this was a pretty intensive game for its era. This UHD 620 at these settings scores an average of 34 FPS with 1% lows down to 23, which ain't bad. That's actually pretty good. More closed-in areas could increase the FPS to a locked 60, but most of the time in the outside world, you're only going to see around 30-ish FPS. More dense areas like the town may drop the FPS to the mid-20s, but overall, not the worst experience possible considering that this is a game that's like 3 years newer than the laptop itself. On to the next benchmark. Next up, with the Remastered Classic here, we have GTA 5 Enhanced, which is another game that I didn't expect this laptop to launch, but it did. The original version of this game was able to run at 1080p with the normal preset and get around 30 to 40 FPS, which on this little UHD 620 isn't bad. How does the enhanced version fare? Not the best, unfortunately. We ran the game at the laptop's native resolution with the minimum preset, 2/3 scaling, and the game was running at around 600p internally. Still though, averages of 32 FPS with 1% less than 21 aren't half bad for what is a 2017 Intel iGPU based laptop. In a 2025 game. This came out in 2025, you gotta remember that. The 16 gigs of RAM in this laptop could be an issue in the online version of the GTA 5 Enhanced, as the RAM is split between the iGPU and that little Core i5. Still though, it's basically running at over 30 FPS most of the time in the single player mode, and that's pretty playable in my opinion. On to the next benchmark. Next up, with the AA game from around this laptop's era, we have Wreckfest. This game was shockingly hard to run this laptop, as I expected the game to run at 30 FPS at 720p low at the very least, but this laptop disappointingly failed. This may be due to the map I chose, which is one of the more intensive ones, but this does accurately represent the experience you may face on this laptop. Running at 720p low, this laptop scrapes together an average of 28 FPS with 1% down to a whopping 19 FPS. Since this game is competitive, you preferably want at least 45 FPS on average to minimize the input delay, but this laptop fails to hit that basic mark. The HP Laptop 17, which is another HP laptop, although it did come out 4 years later, with the Ryzen 5 5500U and the Vega 7 iGPU, got almost 60 FPS at 900p low, whereas this old Core i5 8250 with the UHD 620 barely gets 28 FPS at 720p low. A difference this big should not be happening, so the problem is most likely Intel's lackluster drivers. Overall, until Intel fixes this, which they probably won't considering this is already out of date by Intel standards, it's not playable in my book unless you drop to 640 by 480. On to the second to last benchmark. An infamous Bethesda title from around the era of this laptop, we have Fallout 4. Considering that this game struggled on cards as powerful as the GTX 970 and RX 480, and considering the Wreckfest result that we got earlier, I had no hope for this old laptop. Shockingly though, we hit a decent 30 FPS average. This game isn't CPU demanding, so it was all up to that little UHD 620 to impress me, and it kinda did. The game ran at 720p low, which isn't the lowest resolution, or the lowest preset, keep in mind. This laptop, which struggled in Wreckfest of all things, blew me away with an average of 31 FPS with 1% was down to 23, which, yeah, that's pretty shocking. I was expecting this thing to get under 20 FPS with these things, but since this game probably had driver optimizations from Intel, not bad. Overall, as long as you're okay with a 30 FPS average with a few dips down to 25 FPS, this is definitely very playable. On to the final benchmark. Last up, we have the most popular PC game in the world, and that being Minecraft Java. Last time we tried Minecraft on this laptop, it was without shaders, and I thought that this laptop could handle the increased graphical fidelity. Unfortunately, however, the laptop didn't handle it as, well, we got below 30 FPS most of the time. The game was specifically ran with 5 chunks of random distance, the fancy options, and the Silhouette Light shaders. Averages of 26 FPS with 1% lows down to 19 aren't great, as Minecraft is a game where you want at least 30 FPS on average to survive, you know, from like the creepers and stuff. And this laptop with shaders can't provide it. The UHD 620 was not fully utilized, as it hovered around 80% usage. Maybe if it was able to be fully utilized, it would get over 30 FPS. Turning off shaders will get you easily over 100 FPS on average, so you can do that if you want. Overall, a little disappointing that this laptop can't handle like really basic shaders, but still though, without shaders, it's definitely a pass, as over 100 FPS is very playable. On to the conclusion. So in conclusion, how does this laptop perform? Well, considering its age and considering its support, or lack of support rather, it doesn't actually do half bad. It does support Vulkan, so it'll, you know, support the latest Minecraft updates, because apparently they're removing OpenGL support. And it also supports basic DirectX 12 features, so, I mean, that's how Cyberpunk was able to start. Now, yes, you might say that 13 FPS isn't playable, but look here. if you got used to it, and if that was the only thing you had, and you were very, very desperate, you could use it. Like, I actually got very far into the game. Well, obviously it did die a lot because I can't really aim the best, but, you can still play it. Other games that use the DirectX 12 feature set, like for example Resident Evil Requiem or Oblivion Remaster, didn't launch on this as well. These drivers are out of date, and yeah, those don't really those aren't. Basically, it just gave me an error saying that it didn't recognize that GPU as well. I mean, what game does? It's the UHD 620. It's not a very great GPU, or one that was very common either. For general use, this laptop definitely still kicks today, as it fully supports Windows 11 still, and yeah, it supports, like most modern instruction sets. So yeah, for general usage and like basic video editing maybe, as I actually did try it on this laptop, it's not half bad. And for some lighter gaming, it's not too bad either, as it can play, like for example, Minecraft, Necess, which technically I didn't even, benchmarking here. It can play most indie titles that, aren't made, for example, with like UE5. It can play most indie titles just fine, okay? And it can play, I would say, AAA titles from before 2015 pretty well with at least 30 FPS. And, AAA titles after that you shouldn't really try, because I mean, you're gonna get below 30 FPS. But I mean, if you're fine with 30 FPS, or below 30 FPS, it's not too bad. But yeah, right guys. Anyways guys, thank you guys for watching this video. Remember to like, subscribe, join the Discord server, join the membership, and see you in the next one. Have a nice day.